Not much. Not much is good. Oof, that's bad.
I mean, I've woken up earlier, so this ain't nothing.
You've been up for a bit?
It's been like 45 minutes.
Oh, okay. Good. Yeah. I had to like roll out of bed, do bosses as well. Know that feel.
Yeah. On what was it? Because I'm the one that's like starting this MVP train that's going on right now.
Oh shit, wait, right now?
Mhm.
Okay. So you're training right now, or?
No. I'm just giving it MVP.
Imagine training when you have MVP.
I know, right?
Crazy stuff. Yeah.
No, because it comes with a lot of like self MVP buff
Yeah.
that
Oh,
only
okay.
you can use.
Mhm.
So I've just been using that. Because the last time, what was it, last week when I sent this in, I was what was I? I think it was like 215 or something. I just powered through to 220 to get the latch.
Oh yeah, I think Bakara showed a screenshot of like all of the buffs you get. It's a crazy amount.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like it's almost like it's difficult to finish them all. It kind of forces you to train way more than you would actually maybe. Okay, so we have a beautiful Pepe with a what is it? A golden crown? What is it?
Honestly, I forgot to ask my guildmaster about that. It was just a Pepe, but I think it's a Mihil Pepe because our guildmaster's a Mihil.
Oh, right. It's got like the golden helmet. Yeah. I see it. Yeah, makes sense. It's like a god lightning crown or something. Yeah, it looks pretty good. All right, so what can we do for you today? You are Paladin, so you're now 220.
Yes, I'm 220 now.
And do you have any huge questions right off the bat that you definitely want to have answered?
Nothing too crazy. I've been looking into some of the 220 stuff. So like, obviously Lucid now has been opened. But if I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure I need a bit more Arcane Force for that. I think it was like 3 something, so that you could do decent damage. Maybe that was normal Lucid.
Yeah, I think our requirement is 360, and then if you want to do oh no, wait, it's 540. Yeah, 360 to do normal damage, and then 540 to do the max extra damage, extra 50%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so I need to work on getting to 360, of course. But oh my god, I thought getting the Choo Choo was nice, where it reduces the Arcane Journey, but just hitting latch is just it was so nice, just having everything so short.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well, you have 2 more areas to shorten the other ones as well.
Yeah, and then also the PQ as well. Only having to do or being able to do 1 less every time as well, which is really nice. That's separate per like place, right? Like Vanishing Journey, you can reduce it by what, 2, or can you reduce all of the runs?
So you reduce every single PQ by 1 run for every area, but the fewest amount of dailies you have to do for like a specific daily is always 1. It never goes to 0. So once you unlock everything, you're just doing like 1 Urda Spectrum, 1 kill quest in Vanishing Journey, 1 hard Mudo run. Yep.
Okay, and then the other 2 are free.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just click again afterwards when you're the leader, and it just auto completes. So for Spirit Savior and for Dream Defender, that does mean that there's a bit more. There's just a lot of pressure on that 1 run, but if the 1 run is good, you just auto complete everything else.
Oh yeah, for Dream Defender, if you auto complete, does it complete the highest?
Yeah, the highest you did that day. Yeah.
The checkpoint. Okay.
Well, not the checkpoint. You have to still do in and do 1 run, and then it gives you the same amount of points as the run you've completed that day. Yeah.
Run. Oh, okay. Yep. So just making sure that 1 run is really good.
Gotcha. Yeah. In general, though, you don't want to. So for Dream Defender, the main thing is you just want to do the floor that you can clear, whether it's 30 or 40 or 50, whatever. Clear that one, go to the next, and then just exit, and then autocomplete if you can. If not, you just wait until your buffs are back and you do that one again. Typically, I advise against trying to do like not doing like 44 3 times every single day, because you're spending so much more time disproportionately.
That's so much time.
Yeah. So just wait until you make either a significant upgrade, or you get to the new area, you get more arcane power, that kind of stuff. and then push for the next decimal, and then just do that same shit there again, because it'll also help you save up the points faster, so that you have the full 3k points, so you can push to the next one faster with the little bell and everything. I don't know if you looked into Dream Defender already, but
Oh yeah, with the abilities.
yeah. So if you save up the points, you can just make it so that every time you land, you immediately color one of the boxes, so you only have 2 of them to kill, and immediately the bar starts going the opposite direction instead of having to work against you every time. So if you just if you just go in clear, you just save up those points, and then you get a bit stronger, you have the points, and then you push for the next decimal, basically like that.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I did notice that the points saved after the run into the next run.
Yeah, it just saves up, like if you clear floor 450, it gives you 50 points, and then until 60 points per run, yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, usually, and it goes up to 3k, so then if you have 3k, then it doesn't go beyond that, and the points kind of get lost. But usually by that point, you're kind of like ready to go to the next decimal, or the next decimal is so fucking crazy that that it's not even like necessary to even try.
Gotcha. Okay.
Did you do it already the first time? Like, how far did you get?
Yeah, so I got to floor, I think I capped at 41, 42. But then I don't know how I managed to hit like 42, because even just 440 was a bit of a struggle. So I've just been doing, like, as long as I know the like what pattern to go, and like my kind of like my rotation, then I can do 40 fine. And so I just doing 40, and then retreat at 41, and then just
if you have good burst, you have pretty good burst, right? So, but classes that don't have good burst, you don't want to go like super high and squeeze it out with like guild skills and stuff like that, because then if you don't have them available, or you don't have everything at your disposal, you might have actually failed that first floor you go into, and then you just lose your entire clear. But what some people do is, just do it every day with guild skills, for example. That way you can maybe cheese out like an extra 10 floors, and then just get an extra symbol a day.
Oh, I see. Interesting.
Yeah. Usually for the first run, you just like completely buff up and you just go all the way, because the first run is very long. It's a lot of floors. The main thing is that maybe that you realize that sometimes you like almost fail it, and then sometimes it's a lot easier. It depends on where the first spawn is. If the first spawn is in the middle, you don't have to move, and you can immediately kill it, and you stop, because as soon as you go in, there's 3 purple ones, right, and only 2. So it immediately starts moving to the wrong side, and if you kill that first one quicker, it just immediately stops and goes to the other side and helps you out, rather than it gets to go way further to the right, and it moves to the right faster than it moves to the left. So that's one of the reasons why what I call a mid spawn or a side spawn, like a mid spawn will help you clear super fast, and then a side spawn can sometimes be very tricky.
Okay. I think I've been slowly kind of noticing that kind of thing. I was like, the moment I go in, I was like, oh, I hope it's a middle spawn, so I can chill here.
Exactly, yeah. And the one thing you can do, of course, is if you have cleared everything, then you already know which ones are the next ones that are going to spawn, right? Those are the ones that weren't colored in the beginning. And then you can already go there and kill the monsters, because that stops the corruption of the music box. Like, they get corrupted by the monsters, so as long as you kill the monsters, they cannot get corrupted.
So that corruption, if the box is, because I remember there were some times where it was in the middle of corruption, right? Because it had that like transition animation.
Yeah, it's flashing.
But then I killed the monsters, and then it was still flashing. Does it like reset at all, or does it just keep that corruption?
Yeah, it keeps that corruption. Yeah. So if it was corrupted and it's still flashing, that means you didn't kill it all the way, and you have to go back, because that can be bad, because then it still counts as being corrupted even though it's flashing in the map. But if it wasn't corrupted yet and it starts flashing, and then you kill all the monsters, that means it's really close to getting corrupted, but it still counts as the yellow. So it depends on what the stage before it started flashing, because it's still that stage until it fully changes color.
Okay.
Yep. And you've noticed how to move around with the little... well, you have the up jump now, I guess, so you don't need to do that anymore. That actually helps a lot, right? Up jump, you could just down jump, kill it, up jump again. You don't have to move left, right. That speeds it up a lot. Yeah.
I've been getting a little bit better because since the rope is right there, if I don't go far enough to like the side, I'll catch onto the rope and then it
It slows
slows
you
me
down
down.
so much. Yeah.
Yep. And then, but yeah,
For sure.
just being able to down jump and then up jump, or yeah, that
Up attack, whatever that is. Yeah.
yeah, using that definitely is so much faster.
Okay.
But then, at least for paladins, the what's it called? Grand Guardian. It's like their burst skill. If I have that up, then that's basically a free one because I can just stand at the portal and it reaches.
Oh, it reaches down. Yeah.
And then if it extends, it'll hit all the monsters in the map. If there are some left. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's really cool. Okay.
So yeah, that one's just a free one. If I have that.
Yeah, I know about CL. I have it maxed out all the way.
I need to work on my notes, but I need drop gear. So.
Yeah, we'll get into all of that. Okay. So yes, go for it.
Where I want to take this character, basically, at this point, like especially since I'm hit 220, obviously Lucid is in my mind now to get through that. I was looking through there was this like super nice video on like bossing mechanics, and it just shows everything like by itself. Like this is this attack, and it just shows a screen with like the Lucid map, and it only shows her like her main attack, and it shows nothing else. So it's like, okay, that's the only thing I'm looking out for. Not like the videos where it's like they're showing them in the middle of the run and they point like, look out for this.
You can't see it. Yeah, and there's like 16 things going on.
Exactly. Like, are you pulling at the golem, the mushroom, or the flowers, the butterfly, maybe? So, so yeah, I was looking at that and kind of looking through, I guess, kind of reading ahead, if you would, like what to expect from Lucid.
Yeah. Well, you wanna go into Lucid a bit, or like what she does and everything?
Yeah, we can, because well, at least I guess my 50-meter target right now is solo Lomian.
Yeah.
And then going into Lucid, whichever comes first, but I don't know, I feel like I could do Lomian potentially.
Like, how easy is C-Val for you right now?
So C-Val is pretty easy because paladins have a lot of privilege.
Yep.
So I actually did a practice run, and the only thing that could kill me was the breath, or like a head and tail pop up like simultaneously and both hit me, or something. Like, it has to be like really fast, since it doesn't have like a potion cooldown, so my pet is just constantly potioning me, and I have the because of the MVP stuff, I have the unlimited potion, so it's just it just keeps chugging potions to me.
Yeah, it doesn't
it doesn't die.
Yep.
Yeah, so like the moment his head pops up, I just tank through all of the tails pretty much. At least I've learned that I can do that.
Yeah, different classes have different limitations there, so you gotta figure out what works for your character.
Yeah, I practice just like moving out of the way so that it doesn't become a habit that I just tank the tail.
Yeah, if you're gonna start playing another character, you're gonna have to unlearn that real quick. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, C-Val, I did manage to solo all of CRA. I think it was last week weekend.
Okay, so still pretty recent.
I managed to get through. Yeah, I managed to get Queen and C-Val, which were the last two that I needed. But yeah,
okay.
C-Val was a lot easier than I expected because of the amount of privilege they has.
Are you able to do you have like any constantly on skills that give you incoming damage reduction, including percentage HP attacks?
Including, so there's some passives, actually. So let me see. So yeah, there's one that's called Achilles. That one's just straight up 30% reduced damage taken.
But that's not percentage skills, right?
It doesn't specify, so I
Yeah,
say
it has.
not.
Yeah, it has to specify it to work. Yeah.
There's a lot of like guard stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's this one, Divine Shield. So whenever I take damage, I'll generate a shield that can take 10 hits, and like those 10 hits, I'll take 25% less damage, only for attacks that inflict damage at a certain ratio of the max HP. So okay, so 25% of like the HP damage.
Okay, yeah, that's why it allows you to tank all those things, because it also doesn't get triggered by the small attacks, but only by the ones that do percentage HP.
Yep.
And that has like good uptime.
Yeah, so I guess it depends on how fast you get hit. So it lasts for 90 seconds, but you have 10 blocks. But it won't activate 30 seconds after it's been activated already. So the duration is already 3 times the cooldown. But if you get hit 10 times in less than 30 seconds, then you have a window where it's like
where it's not active.
Attack can kill you.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, you have to make sure you don't stand in literally everything, but you can still get hit every 3 seconds by something that would kill you, and it won't. Yeah, okay, that's pretty generous.
That though, don't think. Oh no, there's another just 10% damage taken, but that's not health percent. But it does help. Yeah. Okay, so it's just the 10%, 30%, and then the 25% of HP damage. Those seem to be the only ones. Yep.
So I wonder if anyone in chat knows. So do paladins just straight up just tank between Blitz Shield and between that? Do paladins just straight up just tank dragon and just stand in the middle?
Ooh, I could test that at some point.
It might be that you take like one tick, then take another, and then heal, then Blitz Shield, and then take that tank, and then I don't know what the heal cooldown is on Lucid.
Is there a potion cooldown on Lucid?
I think there is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is, right?
Okay.
Yeah, there should be. Paladins can't do it. Do you have like a video of that, Timo? Because on like how to do that exactly, but I think they can, yeah. So when the main thing with Lucid is when there are golems and they get killed, or they don't get killed, right? That's the main problem. And then the dragon comes from the side, and then you're just like kind of stuck, and then you just die. But I guess as a paladin, you just don't care. You just stay in the middle. You just hug Lucid, and you just keep killing. Because as a hero, I know you can do it with Blitz Shield. So you pop Blitz Shield first, and you take the initial hit, and then you pop the iframe, and then you're immune long enough, and the dragon disappears again.
To tank the dragon?
Yeah.
I wonder if that would work with the Divine or the Grand Guardian, because you take 50% less damage, including percent health damage, while you're holding down the key.
Yeah, that's also true. But I think that'll be more something you do when you solo, because when you're in a team, you will use that during the burst, right? To do optimal damage. So typically it'll be down when the dragon comes, because the dragon only comes when she summons it, and she will be bound during the burst, so she won't summon a dragon during. Unless someone is like, I domained, I'm gonna bind, and then she summons a dragon right before the person gets to bind. That's the time for you to definitely use that skill and just power through it. Yeah.
Don't worry, guys.
Yeah, well, and you're killing all the golems around it as well, because you're hitting everything, right?
Yeah. This person didn't do it. I tried to see if I could find a quick video, but I'm just like skimming through to see the dragon, but
I guess if you're soloing, you just pop the shield, you pop Blitz Shield, and then you just pop the other skill, and then you probably just heal through it, I'm guessing.
Oh, this guy did it. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, wait, he has Sacrosanctity. No.
Oh yeah, with Sacro, of course, you can cheese one as well.
Ran out, but...
Do you see damage ticks?
Yeah. So he's taking damage, but I don't know what's healing him the second time. Did he use the Paladin heal?
Familiar Paladin heal. That red thing heals you. It might be the warrior link skill, but that heals in bursts, so that's probably not very reliable.
Yeah, I don't think it was the warrior link skill.
Maybe he lost door.
I actually can't tell.
Hmm.
Well, it's a solo run, unless you can door and solo.
Well, some people go in with door. Maybe it's the first one.
Then, gotcha. No, it just he tanked the first tick with Sacro right before it ended. Second tick potion, third tick something.
Maybe Blitz Shield? Do you see Blitz Shield pop up?
He didn't pop Blitz Shield. I see the Blitz Shield, but he never used it. I think I want to say it was the Paladin heal that they have.
Yeah, was that like a second job skill or something? Or third?
Yeah, third job. Yeah, HP recovery.
How much does that recover? Like 60%, 80%?
It's actually only 50.
Oh, 50?
Yeah, but he took more than 50, but he went to full. I don't know. Well, I might have to play around with that.
Yeah, well, so definitely something to look into that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the main thing, is just killing the golems as fast as possible, hitting the direction of the golems if you have multi-target attacks, and especially early on, you'll probably have one or two people who are just dedicated on golem duty, someone with a lot of lines who just does nothing but just target golems and make sure that those get out of the way for everyone. And you throw all of your burst into domains and into whatever kind of binds you have, just to get out of phase 1 as fast as possible. Phase 2 can be a little bit tricky in the beginning, getting around, moving around, but once you get that down, phase 2 is like maybe you die once or twice to like some weird attacks. But as long as you have someone who's like dedicated cleanser, because like Lucid corrupts the map, and then
oh right, the trumpets, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like if you every time, that's why she has so many HP bars, because every time you clean an HP bar, you get one cleanse, and then that cleanses. Yeah, that cleanses the whole map, and then that corruption that she puts in the map goes away. If you ever get to the end of the corruption, there's always like a kind of a test. With phase 1 is pretty brutal. It just gets like thousands of butterflies just murdering everyone. If you try to solo, you probably notice that.
That's what happened to me in the story Lucid, because I just went in there just to see it without anything.
And you're just appreciating the view. Yeah, and they're like, what's this?
It's starting to become a bullet hell, and then it said she went in rage. I was like, I'm scared, and then
you could still you could probably still just Sacred Sanctity and tank that whole thing. Make you just one die.
That's true. I think I didn't think of it. I was just enjoying the color show.
It's like, oh, look at the animals. Oh my god, there's so many.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then
turned into full bullet hell. I did notice that in the video. I think it was it phase 2 or 3 that it like changes the screen and goes full on bullet hell mode.
Yeah, that's if you don't cleanse in phase 2 in time.
Phase 2, okay, yeah. And then just like all the platforms disappear. She goes in the back and she just.
Yeah, she just shoots like a bunch of those pink balls, and they're everywhere. The thing is, there's a few positions that can be safe, but there's like an easy pattern where there's just like there's like 3, 4, 5 spots that just never get hit, so it's pretty safe. But there's like a harder pattern, and then you have to like weave in between. It's still kind of safe if you just like are in the top middle of the map, but there'll be some patterns that interrupt that, so you'll have to like weave in between a few balls. And also, if you're doing a hard mode, then every single thing just hits you for 100% HP, so it gets pretty messy then. But yeah, as long as you go through normal and you learn to, like cleanse in time, dodge as many as possible, focus on the bursts, all of that, as long as you get those mechanics down. And then once you go to hard, it's not that much harder. The main thing is that there's a phase 3, and that's like a huge DPS test for everyone. You have to make sure that your party does enough damage there.
Yeah, that looked pretty crazy. But
yeah, the first few times people failed, and they didn't know why, because the timer keeps running and everything. And if you take too much time in phase 2, then you can't actually clear.
Oh yeah. I remember seeing. Um,
The KMS
what was
videos,
it?
maybe like the first ones.
It wasn't. It wasn't the first one. It was. It was still in that tutorial one.
Mm-hmm.
And he was going to like, or it was like, oh, if you're only doing normal lucid, you can like stop here. But if you're going into hard lucid, kind of like stick around, kind of thing. Um, and it was showing, what is it? Like he was showing about that timer, because it was kind of like that last phase of Gollux, right? Where it's
Mm-hmm.
like you have that small like little bit of window to finish the job.
Yep.
And he was like, uh, maybe 64-bit will change it, but it's like you have 45 seconds or something like that, but you actually have 40 because takes like 5 seconds for this phase to actually start.
Yep.
Um, Actually, I don't think that's a player or client-based thing though. I think that's just the boss changing.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's animation, yeah.
yeah.
And of course, you want to build in a little bit of a buffer. You don't want to be like, oh, I have this much time. Okay, I'll just count it to the second, because platforms also break right before. You have to time the
Yeah.
platform breaks to make sure that you don't get thrown across the map or lose all of your burst, that kind of stuff. Everyone has to synchronize before, so you need a little bit of time to make sure that everyone can sync their burst. And one thing I was saying is, like, say that you have 30 seconds left on the timer, and then you phaser, then it'll show up like 40 seconds, but the original timer still stands. So once that original timer is gone, the boss will still end. And in the beginning, people were like taking too long in phase 2, and they thought that there was like a bug with finishing, but it's because they didn't get to phase 3 fast enough.
Oh shoot! Damn, that is unfortunate.
Yeah. And if the one other thing is, like, if dragons spawn at the end of phase 1 or phase 2, but you kill her, like, you don't get killed by it, so you can just stay in the middle and finish it. Or like in transition from phase 2 to phase 3, you could just tank it. Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes people panic and then start jumping around and then lose DPS and then actually fail because of that.
Yeah. Even though they have that just little bit that if they had just powered through, they would have gotten it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that could have been the difference.
Gotcha.
Okay, but yeah, most of Lucid is just go in, practice, die to a bunch of things, figure out, ask other paladins how they deal with it, and then power through it the next time. That's most of the time that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have any specific like big questions. Are there any systems in the game that you feel like you don't fully understand, or do you think you have a pretty firm grasp on most things in the game?
I have a decent grasp of most things that I am using right now. Obviously, the only thing I'm not using is transposing.
Mm-hmm.
Since I know that's for Sweetwater, getting like what is it? Getting like my Dom pendant or Pat mark and stuff like that to get a good flame on those. Transposing, like, stuff like that, I guess.
Yeah, so do you need me to like explain transposing a bit, or is it like you'll just look it up later when you're at that point?
I'd probably look it up. Like, I'd probably forget it now if you told me, and then look it up later.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I have a video that goes into it, transfer hammering and transposing.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you once you come around to that, if you check it out, that should explain most, if not all, of your questions there.
Okay. Yeah. I'll probably look into that once I get to the point of.
Well, if you get the drop, right?
Yeah, that too.
It's good to know though, so that you don't like overinvest into the equips that you will be replacing anyway. If it's a reasonable upgrade. For now, both of the drops, the Dominator is a little bit more likely, but the Pep Mark right now is not very likely drop. But we'll see if the upcoming patch will change that in any way.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, we're KMS saw a big increase in drops, like the Paladin Mark, like the Pitch boss set, and like the Arcane items. So we're hoping a lot of people are banking on that happening for us as well. So we'll see.
Yeah, that would be super nice.
Very, because I've gotten one drop on my arc so far, and I could use
and that's it?
a little bit. Yeah, I could use a little bit more progress.
Damn.
Yeah, so many runs.
Yeah, that's kind of me with Dom Pendant in my stage.
Yeah, you don't have. You've probably done quite a few arcs as well already.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a single one, and then I came back to my Adele not too long ago, maybe like 2 weeks ago. Started playing her again, and
First try.
first try, just dumping it right off the bat. I'm just like, bro, come on.
Yeah, always. Yeah. Yeah, somehow I've gotten like 2 primal essences while accidentally going into easy arc, like trying to get a mechanator pendant and then getting a primal instead. Like, I just want a mechanator. It's like, I would almost trade it at this point. Just get me out. But yeah. Okay, yeah, let's look at the peripheral stuff first, and then we'll circle back to the equips after that, okay?
Sounds good.
So yeah, go.
Actually, just realized at the bottom the Legion is slightly updated because I just like literally last night I leveled a shade to 140. So I'm only like one character to 140 away. I'm like 3860, I think, right now on Legion.
Oh yeah, because every character you make now goes into the top 40, right? Because you don't have 40 characters. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's the time where you make those huge gains still.
Yeah,
Feels...
so I'm probably gonna get that 4K pretty soon. The extra character in, and it adds, is it one extra
hex layer? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and every extra layer is better, of course, because it's a diagonal increase, so it's always one extra in all the boxes. So that's always nice. You get crit rate, blast damage.
I mean, I guess it would depend on what I need at the moment, but what is it? Because I have 100% crit rate right now. And that's with both Phantom and Beast Tamer level 2. So
yes.
If I get like Phantom level 3 or something, like that would just cover it, but
yeah, you're looking to take points out of the Legion grid in critical rate right now if you want to put more into IED, critical damage, boss damage, is what you mean?
Yeah, kind of. Or if it's just like, if right now, if I don't really have any other sources of crit, unless maybe going for, like putting in Sharp Eyes for V-Matrix would be better to reduce my crit rate in my Legion to kind of shift that over.
Yeah, I think right now the initial thing would be to move the crit out of your Legion and then move, like you said, into Sharp Eyes and also into some more levels in Hyperstats once you have access there. And that will account for the difference. I think eventually you want to go for, or you want to try to get some crit rate, I think, in your inner ability, if I'm not mistaken. So that at that point you're not you're no longer as reliant on your link skills to get to 100, and then you can move into more damaging link skills instead, I believe. Oh no, Paladin doesn't go for it. You go for buff duration instead. Yeah, because your crit is a bit high.
Oh, was it buff duration? Oh yeah. Okay, that would make sense considering their buffs.
Yeah, considering your setup. Yeah, those are really good if you can keep that buff duration up. So you might still rely on at least one then. Have you delved into the links command before to see where all of the stats can come from?
Yeah. So I have like everything pinned.
Okay.
And, like, bookmarks for Maple Story specifically. So it's like all the links, legions, and all that kind of stuff. Like, cause I was looking into like IEDs or like how I can get a bit more damage from links and stuff. What character to burn.
Oh yeah, so what did you decide to burn?
So I went with Night Lord, mainly because like, so I was between Marksman and Night Lord. The only thing was I felt like I didn't need that much crit right now from a Marksman. I just needed the little bit from Legion, and then I would rather the extra damage towards 18% over the 10% crit. Since I always had an out for getting 100% crit right now.
Oh, you have like an extra skill that gives you crit, right, as a paladin versus the other warriors? The other two have a little bit more trouble, I think, with crit.
Yeah, like my high paladin, my fourth job passive, where it gives me like where I can pick between the different weapons and they give me slightly different bonuses. That just in general gives 40% crit already.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the big one. That's gonna help you. Yeah, help you move out of the Legion and crit, and then into all the other sources, and then later on why you don't need to rely on your invulnerability. But it's definitely gonna be. So are you exactly at 100 now when you're buffed, or are you a little bit over? Or
I am exact. Actually, I think I'm 1% over
yeah,
if combat orders is up because of high paladin goes,
yeah.
I think from 40 to 41.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you have to take that into account as well. Yeah, because that's going to have 100% uptime, right? So when you're puzzling that together, it's going to be a combination of the hyperstats and decent sharp eyes. Because now your crit rate is you get 4% from your hyperstats, right? And at level 10 you would get 15, so that's 11% extra. And then 11, and then 10 there. 10 from sharp eyes would be 21, and say you're 1 over now, so you'll have 22. Which means if you 22, and if you get rid, and right now you get, is 22 how much you get now from your 2 links? It's 15 and 7, right?
From my 2 link? Oh yeah, 15 and 7, yeah.
Yeah, so that's exactly that 22, right? So you can get rid of those 2 exactly by getting to level 10 there and getting the 1. But then you still have the extra crit right now in your Legion that we're not accounting for. So that's 13. So you have to get that 13 somewhere. So that'll be a combination of... let's see. So you don't have the marksman yet. The marksman itself also gives a little bit of crit. Hang on, let me...
most likely 4% since I wouldn't push to 250.
Let me cheat real quick and see.
4% and then extra 10 from Link, but we're trying to get rid of Link.
Yeah, we're trying to get rid of Link, yeah. Do you have any skills that give you crit when you get to level 20? Because some do that.
Oh,
I don't know if it does for you.
Let's see. That's final attack, so I'm not gonna really...
It's probably too many skills, though.
The only one's Heaven's Hammer.
Oh, only Heaven's Hammer, okay. I think it's mostly like some of the Kana skills do, I think, or a lot of them do. Okay, so then you'd be... Yeah, so then you'd still have like 10 points or something in your Legion, I guess, that end up in crit. But then everything else will be pretty much streamlined. Or you get rid of the Legion completely, and then you leave the
links.
Level 3 Beast Tamer or something. The 10% there. And then that'll be like your
level 3 Beast Tamer.
Yeah, just get 210, bro.
Just get It's easy, bro. What do you mean?
Your Kana will love you, though, if you put it on there. If you have one. Oh, not a Kana player, I see. 154.
Oh, yeah, 54, yeah. Chilling there. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's neither my taste nor not my taste to play Kana. Like, I'm kind of indifferent about playing it.
Yeah, okay.
So, I guess I'd just rather not play it since that's, I guess, quote-unquote, like one less to farm or something like that. I could just play the characters that I like. So
if you could just take one off, every single one that you take off the list helps in making it more approachable, I guess. I'm just gonna check. So you blast menu. Heaven's Hammer gains. Yeah, it's only 5% crit too, so that's not enough. Definitely not enough to make any huge dent there.
Yeah, it's not really that relevant, to be honest.
No. But you want that elemental force to last longer.
Yeah. For sure.
Okay. Cool. So you have a general order, and have you figured out what your next burn is? Is a marksman going to be next, or?
I actually don't know what my next one is going to be. Marksman would not be a bad option. The other consideration is any of like the really low level ones that I either don't like or has been super slow at leveling.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I have that where is it? It's like the ratings.
Oh, you rated them yourself, like how much you like them?
Oh no. Oh no, not myself. No, yeah, your spreadsheet of
Oh
the
yeah, okay.
class classifications.
Mm-hmm.
Don't remember if the mechanics were 5. All right, yeah.
Yeah, mechanics are generally hated.
Oh, blasters are 8? Yo, wait a minute. Have I been slacking?
They're kind of fast. You can press like 2 skills at once, and it basically doubles up your damage. You have to like press one skill while you're doing another one.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Once I figured that out, I was like, oh damn, this guy's actually really
So
strong.
slacking, yeah. Evans are 6, yeah. So, yeah, I was considering maybe it's like, AB mechanic or what is it? I don't know how big of an impact the like I'm sure, like I know it does help, but for the Evan rune duration one, from a third to 50% duration, like how much of a big difference that would make in leveling. Obviously it helps, but
Yeah, everything helps a little bit, right? That's the whole thing, is that it all comes together. I would say the Evan duration, you have a level 1 now, going from level 1 to level 3 will definitely be a huge upgrade just to level all the other characters faster. It's definitely disproportionately good compared to all the other stuff. Everything, yeah, like everything helps, but yeah, getting level 3 Evan definitely is disproportionately impacting your general progression, especially if you combine it with one of those special events where you have more rune uptime and you can like reuse runes faster. That really plays into Evan's link skill even more, so then it gets even added value.
Okay. Understand. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what I wanted to.
So which ones are you thinking between? Like marksman, mechanic, Evan? What is your options now?
That's what it kind of seemed like. I don't know if there was something that I missed that might have been better, but I think everything else is like just more damage, basically.
Yeah, probably.
Or like I guess optimization, because like Arc, of course, would give more damage since I always use his. But what is that? I would have to essentially remake some 120, yeah, to remake. Granted, it's not that hard, but still.
Yeah, focus for now on just classes you either don't have yet or are super low, because that will give you the most Legion grid level increase as well. And that'll get you to the next point of putting more and more characters in there. And that's when you can start really snowballing, and then you can just make characters whenever. You don't really have to wait for burn, because it'll feel like you almost have burn on the character because of how much your links and your Legion will carry your character.
That's true.
You can already see it now, right? Because you had to like extend the member bonuses, like all of that stuff combined onto one character with the grid bonuses, with maybe Monster Park potions and maybe some Legion buffs. Like all of that together really helps a whole lot. And it's only going to get better too.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'd probably be between those 3 most likely. Yeah. It's just, yeah, I guess whether I want to make sure I have the crit for my Paladin, get some extra buff duration for him, or the rune duration for future links.
Yeah, I probably prioritize the Evan there. Just because the rune duration is so good, and because of burn and the title and everything, you'll get to 210 pretty easily. And then even for mechanic and for marksman, if you just do like a regular mega burn and you get him to like a level 150 or something, that's also already really good. And I think the marginal benefit there from going to 2 to 3 is not as much as for the Evan. Would be like my motivation there.
Okay.
And I really hated Evan too, so I would advise the Terrapin.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan leveling.
No, I mean, I could tell by the fact that it's still 70. Otherwise, it would be at least 120, right? If you were kind of enjoying it.
That's true.
Or like the mechanic stops at 61, you're just like, that wasn't a great time for you.
That was not fun. I mean, it's kind of brain dead though. But even, I don't know, it's something, it just doesn't click, right? It just doesn't click.
Yeah, no, it's not every class is for everyone, that's for sure. And some classes are for no one. Like mechanic. There's like 4 people who like it and everyone else is like, but in general, like where you put the pieces and everything, it all seems fine. IED is going to be more efficient the more you have. Critical damage is going to be probably more important to max out than boss damage, right? Because we already have a lot of percentage damage in total, so hitting that crit damage is going to be more impactful. So I would prioritize in the order of probably ID crit damage, like as long as you need ID, of course, and then boss damage after, and then slowly build out of the critical rate as you have the ability to. But if you leave some in critical rate, that's fine. But the other 3 are like more important. Well, actually, critical rate is more important, but once you have 100%, of course, then the other 3 get way more important.
Yeah, I'll probably move over some of the boss damage now until I get my crit situated, and then I can obviously just move that to boss if need be.
Yep. That's good.
Yeah.
And then hyperset wise, just like slowly move into crit there until you have like critical rate and damage also maxed out. Do you have any points in like you have some in arcane power or no?
Nope, that's
just a guild buff.
The hypersets that are shown, those are all that I.
Oh, okay. Those are all you have. Okay. Yeah, it's always tricky to.
I was double checking with when I took the screenshot. I was like, was there anything else below this?
Oh yeah, it's good.
I took it all out. All right.
Yeah, some people have like level 10 attack or something, and then it's like, well, if you redo all of that, your damage actually would go up by a whole lot because of how things work.
That's exactly why I don't have points in them. I remember you talking about it. I was like, oh, okay, let me invest it elsewhere where I could get more damage per point out of it.
Yeah, so technically, if you're training in high arcane power areas and you want to do bosses with high arcane requirement, then technically putting them in arcane power would be one of the best efficient ways to do it, right? Because then it gives you final damage. But if you're only training there and you're already killing at a decent speed, and the bosses you're doing are not arcane power bosses, then all of those points are kind of like just sitting there. But once you get the lucid and stuff, like if putting some points in gets you to the threshold for extra damage on lucid, and it allows you to go there a little bit faster and with less damage reduction, then of course that would be a good use of your points. And even just the first 4 levels or something are very cheap, right? Just 1, 2, 4, 8, it's like 15 points. But that can give you 20 arcane power, which if that makes a difference between getting 10% final damage, then that's really valuable, of course.
Okay.
The other thing from the stat window is your inner ability. Have you given that any thought how to proceed? Because you have some honor experience saved up.
Yeah. I know there's one happening tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow, yeah.
I saw it. Yeah. I remember seeing it in the calendar. I have some, I have like 500 mil saved up right now, just like from other sources, and then obviously the Maple Tours coming in. Those are like Maple Tours pretty much my main source right now, by the way. That and, well, since I can do CRA now, I'm probably going to do CRA weekly.
Yep, it's good income. Ursus?
Ursus, if I'm up for it, HMAG, but right after I did that Sivo run, I did HMAG right away since I had all the buffs and they were like, relatively similar. It was just like kind of based on character, playstyle, whatnot. Beat him on my very last life. So I was like,
it's all about chipping away at him and then staying inside the blue but as far away as possible. And then basically when you get near the end, just like sacro, pop all your buffs, bind and burst them down. Like
it's like, I might try again since I
maybe
a damage boost.
Yeah, maybe impenetrable skin can help you because that gives you knockdown resistance, so you can even sit through the blue, swipe and not get knocked down.
I don't think I have that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have that node.
If you open it though, like that could be useful one just for the finishing there at the end. It'll be do way more for you than like weapon aura, for example. Level 1 weapon aura doesn't do all that much.
Yeah, I just
It ends up being really nice once you max it out, but even like in your current situation, putting so that's something you could do, right? You could switch out weapon aura, switch it with decent sharp eyes, and then instead move some points from critical rate into critical damage. But that already will be, I think, a good increase, because yeah, weapon aura's uptime is not that great, and it it triggers every now and then.
1%.
Yeah, and the ID and the final damage is like very low, but once you higher level it, the uptime is actually really good. And I think the final damage I think still stays pretty small, but the ID becomes like significant enough to be used as well, because of how ID works and everything. You know how ID works, right? I don't know if you've seen that video.
Like, what is it, like how it's calculated?
Yeah, like how it's calculated. So what kind of sources you're looking for and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it's if that gives you like 3%, that's essentially nothing. So it's like whatever. It's just a cool effect and an extra swipey attack, but yeah, something like not giving you but like not giving you knockdown or helping you get more critical damage throughout all the fight. Because remember that decent sharp eyes also gives you 8% critical damage by itself. So that combined with the extra critical damage from your grid is actually quite nice. Because I don't think you have, like right now you have 52, so you'd go up to like 62 or something.
Yeah,
like 65.
Go up to 60, right? Since it's 8%.
Well, yeah, 8 from the skill, and then you'll be able to move.
A couple points into crit damage, right?
Yeah, how much do you have left? Like 8 points or something? Or 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 8. So that's 4%. So you gain 12%. So you go to 64.5. That's decent.
Yeah. All right, that sounds good.
Yeah, that's like a short-term thing. The other thing, familiar-wise, yeah, I guess just look for another 15% IED. Other than that, if you have something that gives a little bit of healing or a little bit of drop rate increase, that's the only things that you really want to keep. Everything else you can just chuck.
Yeah, I need to actually get to doing getting those cards so I can unlock that second slot, because I've just been chilling on this 15% guy for a while.
Oh, okay, yeah. Doing a little bit of badge run every now and then. Someone was asking about it in the chat before, like which are the best sets. Like, I'm not gonna make a whole guide like laying that out, but if you can just look at all the sets and you can see what they all need, and some any set that doesn't need any boss monsters is preferably what you go for. So it's like those first 3 guys, and then the Edelstein and the mine one. Those are like 5 ones that you can definitely get very quickly, and then you're already over halfway. And then there's a few, well, those last 3 are super easy as well, but you have to be level 245 plus, so that's maybe a little bit far off. But if you get 7 sets done, and then you just you sit on that until you can get to 245 or 250, 255, finish them off. I don't think you necessarily need 3 familiars before that time. If you have 2, that's probably already good enough. But if you desperately want to get those 3, I don't know, you can do like the lion badge, and there's a few that have 1 boss, like the mushroom one, and that 1 boss is spammable to go into at the end, so that's reasonably doable. And you have the Rien straight, like the Demolishizer is spammable as well. So between those, you can get pretty far. Just don't do the time badge one. It's like, oh, it doesn't have that many. Yeah, but it has 3 bosses in it, right? It has Dodo, Lilanush, and Laika, and you have people doing pre-quests and people farming these just because they're big and shiny as well. That can take a while, like 200-300 kills per a pop, like. That's gonna keep you busy. But other than that, yeah, I would just like, if you see an IED, that's great. Everything else, chuck it. You can farm at like FES 2 for a bit, but yeah, you'll have to get the badges first, of course. But if you keep going and you go to the higher level areas, but again, that's only 245 plus. I don't know if they're gonna add familiars to other areas. That's something that they said that they will keep under advisement. But I think they want to not do that. Like if they added familiars to Arcana, then Arcana would get even more value now. Where I think instead they would want to keep certain value to other areas so that people spread out in the game more, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise everyone will just stay in one place still, and then we'll always have the problem of map overcrowding and everything.
Yeah.
So look at the links you're using right now. Yeah, it looks pretty good. More Spirit of Freedom will help you be immune for a bit longer. That's always nice. Have you considered because you are quite burst heavy, right, with your 5th job? Have you considered the Angelic Buster link?
I've thought about it. What is it? 60? Was it 60% damage for 10 seconds?
Yeah, something like that. I think if you pop that right before your Grand Cross, I feel like that would do some nice stuff. Instead of, for example, the Hayato link, which is not bad, but it's definitely more of like a mid-game link, and it definitely gets overpowered by some good stuff later on.
Oh, right, just the attack. Right.
Yeah, it's a bit of attack and a bit of all stat. Yeah.
That might be. Yeah, that would make sense since my burst is specifically around Grand Guardian. So.
Yeah, exactly. You'll pop your big shiny dudes, right, and then your final damage, and then your Grand Cross. So you'd pop it like right after the final damage skill, I guess.
Yeah.
Because that is the percentage-wise, that's the hugest chunk of your damage, I think, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay. Are you missing anything else?
100% IED.
Oh yeah, that's true. And like 100 crit rate probably on it or something.
Yeah.
It's weird how they do that because everyone already has 100 crit anyway. So.
Yeah, it's really useless at this point.
And like the only thing you can think about is like, oh, maybe it's really useful for archers because of vicious shot, but archer vicious shot does not take into account the percentage of crit on the skill itself, so it doesn't even help. Would be really nice though, because snipe has 100% crit rate on it as well, so that means our regular attacks would always be doing like 50% extra critical damage during vicious shot as well, but no, not even that. The other thing would be, because this is basically your bossing setup, right?
Yes.
The other thing would be to introduce the Demon Slayer link.
Oh, right. I actually don't even have a Demon Slayer.
Either instead of the Thief's Cunning until it's maxed, or instead of Hybrid Logic, one of those two.
I don't have a Demon Slayer?
Yeah, even at 120, it's 15% boss damage. It's a really good one.
Oh my goodness, I don't.
And they're pretty strong. Or yeah, what have you been doing? Well, you've been mainly focusing on things that help you level, I think. And Demon Slayer is pretty specifically just bossing, so it isn't top priority, but it's definitely up there.
Definitely useful.
Yes.
Pretty easy to level, considering
yeah.
how they are.
Yeah, exactly. And you start off with 100% knockback resistance and everything, so that's always nice to have.
Yeah.
And then after that, I guess would be the 3 mages, and then that will. Yeah, you have one.
Or well, I have a level 30 mage at the back right now. Like nice. It was like right at the end of the night before I was gonna go to sleep. Just kind of, all right, you're gonna be the first ice lightning I make.
One of the first ones, yeah. Yeah. If you have 3, then that can replace the elementalism skill. The kind of one. Other than that, we're gonna move out of the crit rate ones, right? But that's not for immediately right now, but eventually, and then that'll help you.
Yes, that would be kind of like situationally based on kind of what happens with Legion or gear or inner ability, maybe if I happen to stumble across it before I get buff or attack speed or something.
Yeah, you could go back into one of the damage ones, or you could go into a little bit extra utility, or like you could close call or something just to see if you can get some even more survivability, or like if you have the Cygnus fully stacked for like weapon attack, or maybe the Jet Link if you get lucky on that, but that's a pretty decent financial investment, so that's probably something for a bit later. Or you bring back the Thief's Cunning, if you have the links in, if you have that one maxed out.
Okay.
Because the Angelic Buster will replace that one. You could just bring it back in, I guess. And I guess if you have the other warriors, don't forget that you can stack them to this one as well. To make the Invincible Belief a little bit stronger.
I think I did do that, right?
Not in this picture, but maybe you did after this.
Oh no, I actually don't have another Explorer warrior. Okay, never
Oh.
mind. It's just all the other warriors that do
Yeah.
other things.
Well, most of those classes weren't very useful at all, but they also give strength for your legion, so that's going to pile on. That's one of the good things about maining a strength character is that you have a lot of characters that have legion strength buff, so all of those added together actually will give you a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
And you probably enjoy strength characters in general, I would assume, so a bunch of those are fun to play.
Far. Like, I used to main a dual blade.
Oh yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, it was 218.
Slowing down.
Was super fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. After playing Paladin, I'm just like...
Yeah. If the shoe fits, then you're a Paladin. I think that's how the saying goes.
Yeah, definitely. Verbatim.
Yeah, verbatim. Okay. Yeah, boost nodes. I assume you have all of that under control.
Yeah, those are all my perfect trios. The level 4 one down there is the last of the perfect trios to complete it.
Oh yeah, I see. Blessing there, final attack. Yeah, and then the hammer. Cool. All right. Yeah, and that'll be fine. All right. Yeah, so some situational ones, like the Blitz Shield can be situationally very helpful. Impenetrable Skin, situationally very helpful. I guess Rope Lift is something you kind of try to phase out now because of the up jump.
Yeah.
It might be useful in some situations. Definitely once you get to Spirit Savior and Arcana, it can be very useful. But that's just a matter of, replacing a non-essential boost node or something, or just another skill that doesn't really do much in there, replacing it temporarily and then just switching back.
Yeah.
As long as you have it. Yeah, you have a rope lift, yeah, because you get it from the storyline.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have to, right? Some classes are unable to actually climb the tower without rope lift.
Yeah, I noticed that. And it's like, here's a rope lift. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and then you go to the map and you're like, oh, I could see how you would need that here. It was actually warriors who were usually stuck there if you didn't. You had to equip it, yeah. Because without an up jump, you would be.
There's the portal too, though, right?
It's not in every map. I think there's 1 or 2 maps that don't have one, I think.
Oh, really?
And then you just, you have to rope lift up. It's interesting. And then I think there's a storyline in Limina, I think, where you need to, where they say like, hey, by the way, if you don't have an up jump, you probably, oh my god. Wait, there's this guild that has a guild emblem that looks a lot like Pornhub. I think they're not gonna, I don't know if they're gonna keep that. It's called Dog Hub, but they've got like the layout with like the white letter and then the orange box.
Oh, the same layout, but it doesn't have like DH instead.
Yeah, it says Dog Hub, but like everything else is exactly the same. I don't know if that's gonna stay up, but who knows. Good on them for trying. Shout out to Dog Hub and NA Reboot, I guess. Okay, yeah. So when it comes to equips and upgrading that stuff in general, do you have a general plan that you're working on right now? Like, what is the next thing? Are there some options, some dilemmas that you need some help with?
Well, I haven't put it into like the calculator yet, but obviously all of these could get a little bit more.
Sure, yeah. Well, everything can always get more, right? So what is the most... so we have the 30% off Star Force event coming, right? I assume that you're planning on going pretty hard there.
Yeah, I definitely want to get stuff up to, like, what is it, 15 usually good for this, right? Or
yeah, and also if you have this many items that can use that upgrade, going beyond that is insanely expensive. So you mentioned that you have like 500 mil now, right?
Yeah, and then however much Maple Tour gives me until then.
Maple Tour versus some weeklies, yeah. So you won't have. That probably means that you probably shouldn't spend any money on circulators, right? You want to save it for 30% off instead. That'll be way more of a.
We have like 2-3 bill maybe or something.
Yeah, because you'll also have to safeguard, right? Because you have low star Abzo, so you'll have to safeguard it as well. I assume you don't have like a bunch of backups lying around.
Yeah, that's true.
That does increase the price. Did you use the calculator to see how much that would cost roughly?
For Star Forcing?
Yeah, for Star Forcing.
No, I have not.
Let's see. Have you used a calculator before?
I don't know if I used the Star Force one.
It's pretty cool. So you can put in the level and then the type of the item, if you're going to star catch or not. I think it's better to just take no star catching just to, because you probably won't star catch every single one. It is a significant difference though if you do star catch versus not, especially if you multiply it over a lot of items or do a lot of stars. But after a while, the star catch will speed up. It becomes unreliable. You might have to wait. So I usually calculate it without, and then build in a little bit. If you go by those numbers and then you star catch sometimes, then maybe you'll at least feel like you're getting a little bit lucky. You're more likely to build in a little bit of a buffer. So you will safeguard, right? And you're now at 10 for most of them, and you want to go to 15.
Yeah.
You have MVP Diamond, right?
Yes.
So that works on 1 to 16, yeah, so that will work. And then this goes back to 22, so we have to add that again. 30% off event, and then we'll do, I don't know how many trials. Let's do 3,000 trials. Typically that number is a little bit low. So 500, 600 mil. See, like one guy got a little bit unlucky here, spent 5.4 bill getting to 50. This poor guy. Yeah, but you see, like in the distribution chart, like he's like here, so
Yeah.
poor man's. It's like 95% of people get it within 2 bill. This is kind of a scary number actually. So there's like a 1 in 20 chance that you're like the unlucky guy who spends 2 bill. But so I would count like 600 mil or something per item. So if you look at that and you look at how many items that you could probably that's only for Abzo, right? The other ones are a bit cheaper, but that's already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items, right? The 5 set.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so that's already 3 bill that would cost. So that would be your priority, would be to do it on those items to get those to 15.
So just like all the Abso stuff, just weapon, gloves, shoulder, shoes, cape.
Yeah, I would just try to get all those to 15 with safeguarding. And then if you have money left, you have probably a bunch of pieces for CRA on backup. Oh, well, probably not that many actually, right? Because you cleared recently.
Yeah, I cleared recently, so I don't have. I have like two or three backup for the regular gear, maybe 1 for. But I mean, weapon is.
Yeah, weapon is not necessary.
Irrelevant. So.
Well, one thing some people do is maybe keep your weapon as is, but it's already a legendary, so then typically you don't want to do that. But one of the things I usually advocate for is going like not too hard on Abzo itself, and then going for high Star Force level 150 gear instead, and then transferring it over, and then min-maxing once you transfer it to the stars that you want. Because that way you don't have to safeguard on the level 150, you can just get a bunch of backups there. And you don't have to risk it on the Abzo, because once you bring on the Star Force, then it's done there, right? That's kind of the downside of upgrading into Abzo and maybe like getting guild runs and maybe getting carries a little bit faster. The downside is that you will take on more risk by upgrading on the item itself. But of course, the upside is that you have it faster and you can get that huge set bonus faster. So, and you look really cool and strong and everything. So, that's the flip side of that. Yeah. So yeah, I would in your situation I would prioritize getting the Abzo to 15 with safeguard, and then the next time if there's a 5 to 15, then you just focus on getting the Abzo to 17. Like that's going to be the hugest upgrade. If the next event for some reason is another 30% off, hopefully by then you'll have some more backups for CRA, and then you can get your CRA to 15 without having to safeguard. Because the risk of booming, we can do like without safeguard. You can calculate the risk and the difference, right? Like let's say we don't safeguard, and this one goes back to 22. You can see that the cost is pretty much half, right? And the median booms on average is still 0.26, right? So there's a pretty low chance. But if you do 5 items with a 0.26 chance to boom, there's a pretty good chance that at least one of them is going to boom once.
At least one, yeah.
Yeah, and sure. or you can be this unlucky guy and you can boom 7 times on one item, right? But you see, even then, the range of cost, even with all of these booms, right, the range of cost is half, right? Even for that guy who blew up 7 times, he still spends half than that last guy, right, that got unlucky.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so that's something to calculate in. But if you're going to do it for level 150 gear, if you're going to do it for your your CRA stuff, like it's 280 probably they're gonna be like 250 mil, and even if you blow up, right, it's not that bad. But if you compare that to safeguarding, and then this one always snaps back to 22 for some reason. Then see, you're like 400, 450, maybe closer to 5. It basically doubles up, because the 30% off only applies to the base amount of the star cost. It doesn't apply to the safeguard part, so that's why it's not as much of a discount. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of why we weigh those risks and everything. And typically, if you have backups, you don't safeguard unless you're going past 15. If you're going past 15, then you just sit on your money and wait for a 5, 10, 15, because that 15 to 16 guaranteed, that just drops so many. So that's crazy. But we can look at that. Like if you're, let's say you do star catch, right? If you're going from 15 to 17 on the next event, and you safeguard, right? And you do it off event on Abzo, then it's 1.2 to 1.7 bill, like median average. And if you do it during 5, 10, 15, it's 400 to 630. Like it's usually like 500 mil per item. So that's why you just sit on your money, sit on your items, and just wait for those events, because difference is so huge. But if you hear, the problem with this is if you don't safeguard and you get even a single boom, the cost goes up by so much, because you have to get all the way back up to 15, right? In case it happens. But you see, like the average booms, even if you don't safeguard, is like 0.08. It's really low. But if it happens, that's why the average is so much different than the median, right? Because most people don't boom and it's fine. But then the one guy that booms completely lopsides the cost to the exactly. So you can play around with that a little bit in the calculator, where you're like, okay, do I wait for a certain event? What event do I wait for? Some people will get suckered into this. Like if you're going from 0, let's say you're going from 0 to 22 all the way, and you're not going to safeguard on level 150 gear, for example. You're not going to star catch. You're just going to go super hard like this. And then you calculate, and it's like, I don't know, like 10 bill or something. Oh, this is probably going to take a bit. Or 20, I meant, sorry. At like 20 and then average like up here. And then like the difference if you do it on, that's without event, sorry. If you do it 30% off, I was going to say that was a little bit high. I was expecting a bit lower. Yeah, okay, so 13 and a half, 19 on average. And then if you do, but then the booms, right? Medium booms is 7, range of booms 0 to 90? Oh my God, one person 90. Did not have a good time, spent 150 bill, yeah. So the average booms is like 10 to 11 typically. And if you do it on 5, 10, 15 instead, it'll be more expensive here. But not by that much. You spend like 1 bill more, and the average booms goes down from 10 or 11 to like 6. And the thing you have to look into, the main problem is like if you get it, you don't boom anymore, and there's a whole bunch of cost that disappears, right? And if the average booms is like 11, the chance that you're constantly booming every single item is pretty damn high. But if you basically the standard deviation gets way wider the more booms you have, and it gets narrower the fewer booms you have. Because if the average booms is 4, that means that it's more realistic that you get only 1 or 2. And if you only get 1 or 2, then your average cost goes way down. But if the average boom is 11, the chance that you only get 1 or 2 booms is pretty much non-existent. You're always going to have like 5, 6, 7, right? So that's one way to look at it. Some people get baited in like, 30% off is technically cheaper on 21 and 22. It's like, yeah, that's technically true, but the chance that you get unlucky is way more likely because of how wide the boom spread is. So that's how you can play around with the calculator to kind of like look at that. But yeah, I would focus on Abzo for sure. And Star Force is big. And then because you already made good gains now, that's typically how I look at it. If there's a Star Force event, you go hard on Star Force, and then you'll be a little bit lopsided, upgraded towards that side. But then if there's a cubing event like there was now, then you go a bit harder on cubing instead. And that's why you have a bunch of things that are now legendary with like decent potential that maybe you wouldn't have had in this at this point yet, but now you're like a little bit lopsided that way. So like the next event is going to be an overcorrection on the other side, basically.
Gotcha.
Since you don't have a separate character to making money, and income is very important, I think the next step, maybe
Like
more,
Mesopotamia.
yeah, is getting Meso Obtain and some drop rate on accessories. So getting those to legendary. So the way I envision it, Abzo to 15, probably I think another 30%, another 5, 10, 15 Starforce event, I think, before any kind of cube sale, I'm guessing. If there is, so always keep an eye on the calendars, right? If there is, we will, well, you'll want to get your Abzo to 17. So again, that's like, that's not that expensive, but it's probably like 400 or 500 mil per item. So 5 items, that's again easily 2.5 bill, right? So at your current rate, that takes a while. If there's a cube sale first, then going into your accessories first will be more important, and getting meso and drop rate there. So like 5 lines of meso, 4 lines of drop, so that you can increase your income until the next event, and then you can just earn that money back by regularly training, and you don't have to rely on a secondary character for that income.
Yeah.
And then one major thing on the side would be to slowly work on the flames, although they're not terrible.
Yeah, they're not terrible, but there's definitely room for improvement.
Exactly, that was what I was going to say. Like your cup, for example, that one has a lot of growth potential. CRA. Oh, your shoe.
How long pink bean takes?
Shoe has a lot of room for improvement.
Yeah.
So you generally go by like highest level item again, right? Just like with the upgrading, flame wise as well. Also have a flame video if you haven't seen that one yet. Also goes into all of it. And your weapon. Your weapon has a lot of room for improvement as well.
I've been trying to roll that. Like I had one roll that was decent. It was comparable to the fake soul lab that I had. It had the same amount of attack, but different on the other stuff. Ever since that, I've only gotten magic attack flames.
Okay, yeah, that will happen. Oh, you know the beautiful ones are when you get magic attack, boss damage, and all stat. If you get those together on a physical weapon, I've gotten that so many times.
I think I was close to doing that. I had magic attack, 10% boss, like I think it was all stat that I had, and then just some random other stuff.
Some random stuff.
Yeah, that's.
It's like, why could you just not be weapon attack as well? It's because you wanted it to be. That's why it's not. You know what tier you're aiming for? You know what numbers you're aiming for, and how the tiers on flames on weapons work and everything?
Yeah, I've been using the flame calculator.
Alright, awesome. Yep.
Just to double check on all my flames, making sure that they're at at least decent rate. If not, let me see. I have something to focus on there, but yeah.
Well, if you're focused on a weapon now, that's the most important thing. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The most I've gotten was 60 so far, so I've just been a flat 5 this whole time. No 5 plus, no 6. Maybe I did get one for magic attack, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I disregarded that.
I guess if your flame income isn't that high, you could settle for a 5 for now if you get it.
Yeah.
And then go to the other items, the ones that I mentioned, and make some gains there, and then circle back later once you kill more bosses, maybe that give you more flames, or once everything is getting upgraded, all of the weeklies will go faster as well, so you have more time left over to train. And you can also get flames from elite monsters and elite bosses and stuff sometimes. So
yeah, that's true.
All the little bits add up. Just make sure you do those Madman Ramroos and stuff every day. Those have very good flame drop rates.
Yep, Madman Ram. If I do any boss, it's always Madman, Ranmaru, and Normal Arc. Those are the 2 that I will always do no matter what.
Yep.
The other ones I will play by ear, basically.
So usually I do those, and then I add normal Magnus, and then normal Queen and Vellum, because those drop double S tier soul shards.
Oh, okay.
And they're also easy killable.
I should,
yeah. Those are very, very easy, and they usually drop like 2 or 3 shards, and that'll help you when you have those magnificent soul events, that you have like a nice batch of souls to hopefully get some magnificent for your weapon.
That's true. Okay, I'll add those guys.
Yep. Yeah, so I'm thinking ID wise with the extra familiar.
Yeah, that the visual is with the familiar. Functional, I think it came up to about 95 because of threaten.
Right. Threaten is huge. Yep. Yeah. That's big.
So I think I come up to about 95 functional.
That's good. That makes me think that once you get to the point that like everything is 17, so we're talking like a lot further, right? We're talking about after the accessories, we're talking about getting all of the non-Abzo stuff, then also the 15 after the Abzo stuff is already 17. And then one more event to get literally everything to 17, and then maybe there's like something cube in between to get everything at least to unique that isn't already legendary, and then legendary would go first on the Abzo again, right? Because it's level 160 tiers, so you can get higher percentages there. And then you'd be looking at just getting 2 lines on your legendary stuff, and then you'd be looking at redoing your weapon secondary emblem, trying to hit at least 2 lines of attack, because I think by that point all of the sources of IED will start trickling in, and you will essentially have, because of threaten, I don't think you have the demand for a line of IED at all on your WSE, so you can solely focus purely on getting attack everywhere.
Okay.
And then, you know, if you get attack on a line of boss or something like your weapon has, that one is probably the last one you tag. But the first one I would attack would be the emblem to try to get for 21. And then second would be the shield to try to hit for 21 at least there. And then you can kind of see, do you want to go for 2.5 lines on all of your other equips, or do you want to start attacking your weapon there? See if you could hit like, I don't know, like, what would it be, like 13, 10, and then maybe any kind of boss, like 20, or even a line of 20 boss would be really good, right? A combination.
Yeah.
Or if you hit something like a line of IED plus a line of attack plus a line of boss, something like that on your secondary, or maybe on your weapon, something like that could also be very useful. That would take all the pressure off your emblem, so you can go full, you could go full red cube then as well, right? Because you don't have that much to lose. And on average, that's way cheaper to get good lines with than having to be scared like, oh, if I lose this potential line, then I can't kill the regular daily things anymore. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, other than that, let's look at the accessories. Probably going to slowly start moving in. Once you start thinking about 15 and 15 plus, that's when you want to start replacing the Zaku Mayan face with the monocle and with the tattoo. It's always a little bit dicey. Like, do you want to just upgrade the eye accessory and the condensed power crystal early on, get them to legendary and get those drop and mezzolines, or do you just want to get 2 monocles, 2 tattoos? The first one, of course, has the added value that you can do it much sooner, and you can get the boss set bonus back, which gives you a little bit more damage, and they have the flame advantage. You don't have to star force it that much, etc. The second one has the benefit, like, let's say that you're cubing your aquatic letter eye accessory and condensed power crystal for drop, and you end up rolling like 24% strength or 30% strength, right? That happens all the time to people. You can ask anyone. Then you're like kind of fucked. But if you just hold on to this until you can buy 2 sets of the other ones, and then you roll it on one of those, you just switch out the functionality of the 2, and then you just recube the other one, right? So because we don't have trade, that could be the way to go. Since if you already had unique or legendary, I would say just, reroll this, mezzo drop, and then work on the other ones. Since they're only epic, quote unquote, I would probably opt to go for just double monocles, double tattoos. I don't know if you're doing the voyages and the CPQ at all, but
yeah, what is it?
Don't know how many dineros you have.
On my Paladin, but I've been a little bit lazy with that. But yeah, I definitely need to start that up.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, you don't have to do the weeklies for Dark World Tree and Scrapyard anymore, right? Those are off the table, so hopefully that freed up a little bit of time. Like, you could just fill up with some other stuff now. But keep the balance, right? If you find yourself not wanting to do it, don't like force yourself to do it. But if you regularly do it, then you can afford yourself to not push. But if you already don't do it on standard, then every single day is going to feel like, oh, I should have done it. Oh, I should have done it. And that's not a good feeling either.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you can just do like if you're gonna get 2 each, yeah, you probably just still want to do short approach. If you want to do the long term approach, I have a Commercy command for that as well. There's a way to go about it so that you can start raking in way more dineros. There's a little bit of a build up time.
Right. That was the whole upgrading your boat, right?
Yes. If you upgrade your boat, then you can start. At the beginning, you like veer way off and you get way behind, but then eventually you surpass. Ad infinitum, definitely. How many dineros you can make, and then that also opens up the road for transposing the pendants later, and then going past 17 if you do decide to go past that point with this character. Yeah.
Yeah, I think at some point probably.
At some point, yeah. After that, you'll be looking at upgrading your rings and stuff. And then at that point we'll be at transposing as well.
Is the face and eye accessory like the easier ones to go for to legendary first over the rings, or does it really matter too much? It was just that option of what's it called?
Yeah, it'll
Sweetwater stuff.
Yeah, it'll probably be more so if you get the Sweetwater stuff and go to legendary on those, they come as epic, so that's nice, and it'll probably have more value because if you hit any other line of strength along with it, it'll be a bigger line as well. So it has extra value for that. It's a bit more expensive, of course, because it's a higher level item and the reveal costs are significantly more. But it does have, if you hit that strength line and you get like an extra 10, that's always really nice because that's already like more than most of your accessories even have right now.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's usually the upgrade I make if you have like epic or unique accessories, and then go to legendary, line of drop or mezzo, plus a line of strength. That way you don't actually lose strength. In some cases you even gain strength, and you gain the utility of making more money. And since you don't seem keen on having a separate farming character or everything, making sure that your training gets more valuable, and you can dump in some Legion coins when you're training, and you'll get more mileage out of those Legion coins as well because of that. Yeah, apart from that, there's nothing else like glaringly missing or upset. I mean, the huge thing will be to try to get to do Helix as fast as possible. To start building up those coins. That's going to be a huge, huge like time gate getting those coins. What I've heard from Paladins in the past is that they just go in like full blown buffs, Grand Cross, Sacrosanctity, whatever. Go in, get them as low as possible. Try to not kill. Try to like get close to killing the Chin, but not completely killing it, and then just leaving the fight, and then waiting for all your cooldowns to come back, and then go in again, and then go for the second burst and try to kill like the eyes and the gem with that.
Gotcha.
Because like if you don't know if you know about that, but if you like don't have a potato get to the middle, then you don't get those purple don't get the purple debuff, then you could just leave the boss fight through the portal.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And you could just sit outside and just wait it out, and then wait for your cooldowns to come back, and then just go back in Sacrosanctity again, and just people have been on Paladins. I've heard a lot of people just cheesing it that way. I mean, if the game allows you to do it, why not? Because it's like with HMAG, right? Like you just sit there and just wait for your cooldowns to come back. It's not like a classy way to do it, but it works. So if the game is going to throw shitty mechanics at you, you just counter it with your shitty mechanics.
Gets the job done.
Yes, exactly. And you're going to need a lot of coins and a lot of instances of drops. So the sooner you can start doing that, the better that will be. Yeah, and then after that we start like 20 starring shields, and then we start trying to go past 17, but that's like a whole other kind of worms. But if you check the Transformer transposing video, it also talks about like moving out of getting stuck at like 2.5 line legendary and 17 star everything. Like how do you move on from that one? Because that's typically a tricky one where people can get stuck.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Is there anything you feel like we need to go over a little bit more, or any questions that came up because of everything we talked about?
Let me see. So, I mean, I guess, okay, so like for now, especially because of with the events that are coming up, making sure that I get the pretty much like maximizing those events, so utilizing that 30% off, getting my Absols to hopefully all of them to 15.
Yeah, you basically let the people often worried like, oh, do I spend on cubing? Do I spend on Star Force? Typically, once you're like around this point or beyond, you just let the events decide what you spend your money on. If there's a cube sale, you go cubing. If there's a Star Force sale, you go Star Forcing. And depending on which one it is, you upgrade accordingly. And you just let the game decide at that point, basically. And everything that's up to you is just making as much money as possible so you can benefit from it optimally.
Okay. And then cubing wise, getting those accessories for like the Meso Obtain and then, or Drop Raid, and then hopefully align a stat as well so that I don't really lose much from it.
Yep.
Prioritizing that over stuff like the shoulder and boots for like try to get those lines of stats, right?
Yeah, I'll prioritize it over because you'll earn your money back, and then you start making money at basically double the rate, and then if there's something of a cube sale, by that time you will have made your money back and some.
Okay. Was for the Gollux drop, he drops belt and what else? Ring?
E-ring now, belt and e-ring. Yeah.
Oh, earring.
And the ring and the pendant you'll have to buy from the shop.
Ring and pendant are buy. Okay. Yep. Belt and earring.
Yeah, that shifted. It used to be the ring and it used to be the pendant and the belt, and then the earring you had to buy. So that one changed.
That's the one I remembered.
Yeah.
Because my dual blade it was only reinforced, but went the 2 pendant stuff.
Yeah. Some characters have like backup pendants, and now you have to like, pay through the nose for those.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, there's nothing too like, I guess, out there that needs a bit more explaining.
No, I would just say for the current event, like, if you haven't done it already, like focus on nodes. I would say that's definitely gonna give you a lot of damage.
Yeah, I bought out all the node boxes, and I bought a bunch of the individual nodes right now.
Oh yeah, no, you're good then.
I think I used up all the coins for today.
That makes sense. And then I guess your 5th job with the spinny hammers is very good uptime, so I think leveling that one probably is going to be disproportionately useful. That and maybe the Mighty Mjolnir, because it has pretty short cooldown, right? Recharges every now and then.
Yeah, 15-second recharge.
That's pretty good. Is that a good extra burst damage as well?
Yeah, because you can kind of like weave it in between a bunch of like big skills.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so right before that bind goes off, popping.
You throw one, bind, throw one, use the final damage, throw one, use the hammers, kind of like that.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Oh no, you have to wait for it to return before you can throw it again, probably, right?
No, you actually don't.
Oh, that's interesting. How many hammers do you have? Well, 3 apparently.
You only get 2.
You get 2. Okay. So you have 3 hammers because you can be hitting while both of them are out.
Yeah, exactly.
You got like spare hammers in like a quiver or something. You just throw it out.
Just bring it out.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, throw one. You can pop the I usually like to pop Divine Echo before, just because there's always enough time to get all my skills in.
Okay. Yeah.
For the duration of Divine Echo, so I usually like to pop it before the bind, or maybe like. Yeah, but yeah, pop that, throw a hammer, bind, throw a hammer.
And then after Grand Cross, the hammer's already back, so you can throw another one.
Yeah, usually, one will be back by then. If not, then I can just do Heaven's Hammer or something, and it'll be back in like the last second or 2.
Okay.
Then throw another one and just start blasting.
That's pretty. Yeah. Oh yeah. Now you blast, and then you make sure you keep your stacks up for the final damage.
Yep.
Or damage. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one thing I forget whenever I'm on the Paladin. That's the one thing I have to like.
Hammers, yeah.
Yeah, you have to weave in some of the other elements. Or then you're like last second and you smack the button and it was accidentally the same one that you apparently used last, and then it doesn't refresh and you're like, no, all the stacks. I wish it was like the Mihal Royal Guard where you just lose 1 stack. I wish it was like that. Then you can just.
Oh, that would be so nice.
But even when they did that for Mihal, they reduced the buff of the stack, so maybe you don't want it actually. It's like, oh, now it's too easy to keep up, so now we have to nerf it. It's like, ooh.
Yeah, that's true.
Not great.
I want more attack.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just let me tank everything and do lots of damage, please.
Yeah. Well, you're playing the right class, I think, for that one. Yeah. Okay. So if that's everything, final.
Yeah. I mean that seems to be pretty solid stuff. I kind of know where to kind of move all my stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of optimize it a little bit for where I'm at.
Yep.
Where I'm moving forward with the events that are going on now, and then hopefully the future events. At least based on what those are.
Mm-hmm. I guess the invulnerability comes into play once you have like everything 17. I guess is probably when you.
Oh yeah, I guess that was the one thing that.
Yeah, we got because.
When should I do this?
Because we kind of like pushed that one off, and it is definitely not priority now. One thing you could say that could be useful is circulating to legendary and then just rolling during a 50% off just to hit the attack speed +1 on the top line. Mm-hmm. That is something.
We have one tomorrow, right? The ability reset costs 50% off.
Yeah, but like we said, like if you spend, it's possible that you get like to legendary in 1 or 2 circulators, and in that case it definitely is worth, but it's possible that you have to use 10 or 15, and at that point that basically costs you one whole extra Abzo character to 15, right?
Yeah,
it's going to depend on how much money you have, so you could but it's an extra week. I would just hold off on this one and go and focus more on like the next one or even the one after that, depending on if you get a cube sale, if you get a 30% off before that time. Basically, I would let that decide.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so 2 things you could do. One is like just circulate legendary and then roll during 50% off just for the attack speed +1. And then the other one would be to circulate fully. And if you roll attack speed +1, you hold on to that, of course, because circulators you can like keep your previous option. If you don't roll it, you just keep going until you hit that buff duration on second or third line. Consider maybe keeping 25% buff duration as well instead of 38. 38 is like the ideal, but it's very, very difficult to get and can get insanely expensive. So just the line, quote unquote, of 25%, and then locking that and re-rolling for the attack speed +1 during an event. That would be the other way of going about it.
Okay. Yeah, I might throw in like 1 or 2 random circulators.
Yeah, just to see. Yeah, exactly. It should have like 10% or something chance. So yeah, who knows, man? You could get lucky. Some people get it on the first. Some people need to use like 20 and then cry a lot.
Dell took my Dominator pendant, then I should be able to take my legendary ability, right?
Yeah, I think that's how it works. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Yeah, it's in the code. It's.
It's the code.
It's in the documents. It's.
Proven, statistically proven.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you do it, it'll be proven. Yeah, it'll be ironclad at that point. Yeah.
Right. After this MVP train, pop a 1 circulator. Give me that legendary.
I will pop a bless. I'll pray for you. Okay. Pray to RNG in the. How did they do? How does BTS do it? Pray in the direction of the Nexon headquarters before you use it.
Yeah. They bow.
They bow, towards the Nexon HQ.
Wherever Nexon is, and then it's like, please give me a good roll, and then they start.
and then he blew up his Dominator pennant, didn't he? So I don't know how well it works, but we'll see. I hope maybe it works for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up Nexon Company
and. Google Maps that shit. I mean, technically, you could go 2 ways, right? Because Earth is, unless you're a flat earther, I guess. But if even if you're a flat earther, because it could go around the disk to the other side, right? Okay, never mind. Yeah, you can go that way. You can go.
Next on Korea, there it is. All right,
That's
where are you?
All right. Well, good luck on the circulator.
Yep.
And on everything else. If there's like something you still wanted to ask, but it like somehow slipped this whole session, just message me on Discord, and then we'll figure it out.
Awesome. Sounds good.
All right. Well, best of luck, and I'll see you around.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem. See ya.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Amazing. Now I'm super loud for the people. Hey, people on YouTube, have your volume super high. Are you scared right now? There is. Don't leave yet. We have a big announcement. for the people watching this video and the people in the chat, there are people in my community who have been donating to me specifically to give away some of these free advice sessions to people in the community who want them, but who either don't have the money or are cheap bastards. One of the two. Probably the first, because everyone is super generous. So far, Arino has gifted one, Smidley has gifted one, and our resident oil prince, Bukhara, has said that he will add multiple. I'm not saying how big that number is, but it's more than one. The one thing I'm looking for is a fair way of... Yes, Abdul, please, in the chat. Can we get an Abdul, please, in the chat for our oil prince, who will be gifting the knowledge. Literally gifting knowledge to the community. Look at the people dance. Dance for Bukhara. Wait, they're desynced. I didn't know they could do that. Wait, Chaos, you're desynced. How's that? Oh no, this one is desynced. Kaiser Cutie's one is desynced. And it's lower... And it's lower quality. Wait, how the... Oh, maybe because I scrolled through the chat or something? But anyway, yes. So, it'll be like a Christmas giveaway, basically. I don't know if I'm still thinking about how I'm gonna do it. But if you're on YouTube, definitely leave a comment if you would like one of these sessions, and I will probably draw one or two or a few winners on these upgrade session videos. If you just need a simple wow, I'm just burping all over the place. If you need a simple equip upgrade or like a full account session, which one you would like, and if you, of course, please be in Reboot, either NA or EU, doesn't matter, but please be in Reboot, and yeah, just leave a message on the YouTube video if you would like to win one for free for Christmas. I think... Well, okay, Bukhara said he will gift a bunch of them. I think I'll cut them in half and give half away during streams and give half away to people who commented who would like it on YouTube, and just like gather the names. When will I gather the names? Maybe like a week from now? I got another progression session next week, and I think I'm going to do at least one or two in between. So I'll give a reminder to this minor contest that you can sign up for through the comment section of YouTube. I'll make sure to go through all the comments on these videos. So you have a whole week to comment. If you comment on multiple videos, you will be entered once, of course. Like, don't go to all the videos, or do, but you want to only get entered once. And yeah, so I'll draw some winners from YouTube and some winners from Twitch. And basically what we'll do is we will set up a time and date. I don't want to do these too much. I'm doing like 3 in a row now, which is, I've noticed, a little bit much. I want to do at least like 2 or 3 a week though. So we'll just like plan when we want to roughly do it, so you don't have to start gathering all of the information and start gathering all the pictures yet. Because if your session is like a week later, then everything will be a little bit different probably, and things might look, you might have to update everything. So we'll just, you know, once I draw the winners and everything, we'll just set everything up on Discord, set a date, and then you'll know when to go, I know when to go, right? So, like, comment, and subscribe. I got it in there. First time ever. No. But just let me know in the comments if you want to join for a chance of getting one of these upgrade sessions for free. Well, courtesy of, sponsored by the Twitch chat. And if you don't want to wait for that, but you want to do a paid session like this one, then check the description of the video. And then we will set up a date. All right, and watch me live on twitch.tv/Scardor. Watch me there. Right. Bye bye. Oh yeah, sorry that his audio was so low, but you know, what do you got to do? Technology.